fellow green people from all over the world to the Strengthening Democracy Network session here in the Global Greens 21st anniversary. I'm Ville Vanhem and speaking from our Green office here in Joensuu. Here is Finnish Green Party logo, which is a globe from Finnish view. Sorry for Southern America or Australia. And posters and everything back of me. Okay, I'll start presenting the Where is my share button now? Okay. Still have to do something. Yes. You see my slides.
Yes, we see your slides, Phil.
Yep. Thank you. Okay. So, Strengthening Democracy Network is one of the about 6 networks and working groups which Global Greens are having. This is founded from just 2 years ago after Incheon Global Greens Congress. And besides today speaking here, I'm a Global Greens Coordination alternate member from European Greens, and our network is having different task forces, so I have been coordinating elections task force. And we have also from other subgroup something today. Yes. Unfortunately, David Shires from Australia has medical issues, so he is not here. And I must apologize that we are having all male panel and kind of all white panel. Today we are trying to do it better for next time. I'm talking about some plain numbers, how Green parties have been doing in elections from 24 till today. Some kind of global overview. David was having Asia Pacific elections. Let's see if we have time for that. A sketch from that. Raul Guzman, who you see also here, is talking about elections in Americas this year, mostly coming. And Raul Guzman is from Mexico, and then Jean-Paul Mathis and Norbert Costa, Jean-Paul from Switzerland and Norbert from Canada, are talking about enriching Global Greens Charter with some developed ideas of democracy. So, how were Green parties going in elections from 2 years ago till early April? I missed one Peru results here, but otherwise my global overview is here. Okay, basically our elections task force has been following up how Green parties are doing in parliament elections and in presidential elections. I will go through parliament elections from some points of view, and then shortly presidential elections. We have been a bit touching about sub-national elections, for example, local and regional elections, and we have not yet started, but I think we will go to also referendums of different countries. So there has been 50 elections during these two and quarter of the year, where in the countries where there is a Green Party, and now I mean a member party of Global Greens, member party of some of these 4 federations at that time. Green parties casted candidates in 28 of these 50 elections, and we have no information, or we have information that there were not Green Party candidates in 22 elections. So some of the Green parties are not taking part in parliament elections. And besides of these 50 elections in the countries, there is a Green Party. There has been 58 parliamentary elections in countries where there is no Green Party, meaning a Green member party. So, and then some difficulties on following up of these elections is that Green parties are sometimes going to electoral coalitions with other parties. This is due to electoral system, which prefers bigger combinations of parties, or there is so small Green Party that it couldn't manage to get an MP on their own. So this electoral system works if you have a 2-party system, if you're having other kind of system. But even in France, we made an electoral coalition and sorted out who wins which constituency. These coalitions have usually been with the left-wing parties, but this is not 100% like this. This goes to the fact that sometimes it's hard to find specifically Green results if you are looking for vote share, or if you are looking for who are the members of the parliaments after elections. Anyway, Green parties are usually under the radar of international news. We are very rarely in international news. And then in some countries, electoral system is so that it is preferable, it is more likely to get elected as an independent candidate. So some Green politicians run somewhere as independents. Our results. Biggest wins have been in Mexico, 24, up 34 MPs, up to 77. This is Mexico Greens have one of the big Green parliamentary groups. Vote share was over 8%, and Mexico Greens were going to government with this result. Then in Europe, Lithuania, same year, 14 MPs. It was a new party in the Lithuanian party system. Some of the politicians of this DSLV were former Greens and Farmer parties politicians, but the party is new. And it's also new as a Green party, more than 9% of the votes and to government. Then we have wins like in France, with that electoral coalition with left-wing parties, where there was kind of, together we want to win these constituencies, and they sorted out that which party in which constituency would be top in the left-wing coalition. Win in Croatia, win in Norway last year, and win in Denmark this year. I think Denmark is going to government. France has very complicated situation. Biggest losses has been in Germany last year, down to 85 MPs. Still one of the big green groups, 11%. And that was from government position to opposition. In Ireland, in Europe, we also had a drop of 11 MPs from 12 to just 1, and from government to opposition. This is not a thumb rule that if you go to government, you are losing next elections. No. But this happened in these countries. Some losses in Belgium, in European Union elections, in Austria. A different view. We are having green parties which are going to first time to parliament, to national parliament. Lithuania, as I told, Madagascar in Africa got their first MP 2 years ago. Czechia has, in Europe, has 2 MPs with the help of electoral alliance with the Pirate Party. Pirate is something about copyright fights from about 10 years ago. Then we have some losses. Chilean Green Party dropped out of parliament last year from 2 MPs to 0. Other remarks from English-speaking countries, United Kingdom, from 1 to 4 MPs, big win in UK politics. Canada dropped from 3 to 2 to 1. Slowly, Australia in the lower house dropped from 4 to 1, but then they kept their stance in Senate, in upper house. So after elections, we are having small green groups, like 1 MP green groups, which are very vulnerable, but they have green voice in the parliament. Australia, Madagascar, Ireland, Canada, Rwanda with 2, again 2, congratulations. Czechia now in the Pirates group, and UK. Then we have these big, Germany, Mexico, also France, I count a big one. European Parliament group is a special case, which has Greens, 42 from elections, and then IFA and Pirates, so we are up to 53. And then in Europe, there are many green groups which work with from 8 to 12 MPs, so they can also differentiate the work, the political work. They have more people to do the things, more people to reach out every corner of the country and so on, than when you are doing with 1 or 2 MPs. There are green parties which take part in parliament elections but have no seats. South Korea, Mongolia, Portugal, Slovenia this year. Also these are some which could go, which are close to have an MP. And then under 1%, Solomon Islands, Taiwan, Georgia, Moldova, Romania, Chile. This is from east to west. Everything. Okay, then shortly about presidential elections, and now I see our time is going, so that we are not taking David's Asia-Pacific thing here. Somewhere we are supporting a candidate. In Mexico, we won, or coalition won, president in the second round with about 60%. Romania, Ireland wins. In Poland, very close, lost in the second round. Then we are having, I found 2 countries where Global Greens member party has an own candidate in Finland. Pekka Haavisto, former minister, who was also founding member of Global Greens 25 years ago, got 25% in the first round and just 48 in second round. I have underlined this 25 because that is somehow potential which Finnish Greens could have in very good elections, parliamentary elections. So there are 25% of people, voters who have sometime chosen Green. Then Rwanda, brave but desperate loss, but Frank Habineza is now a co-convener of Global Greens. And many Green parties don't take part at all in presidential elections. So Green parties are having up and downs in elections. We are going to governments, we are dropping out. It's hard to be in government, but worth of it if we count our political achievements, what is made to laws and budgets and so on. And then being in opposition doesn't guarantee success in elections. Being in government doesn't guarantee that you lose your next elections. You can win also like Finns did 20 years ago. When a small Green party enters the parliament, it's quite stable to keep that position. Even we are small, we make our way. Many of the Green parties build on good elections and good local presence, but that's another story, not today. Kiitos. Thank you. This was about the numbers, and then we are having Raul Guzman. Oh, sorry, I have to. The Greens in upcoming elections in the Americas. I can share it. When I'm again finding the right button. Here. Okay, Raul, please.
Yes. Thank you, Ville, for the introduction and for the important information that you shared with us. And greetings to everyone, all the Green colleagues around the world. First of all, I would like to do an invitation to all of you to the parliamentarian session, which is later. My boss will be participating there. She's the head of Mexican Greens. She's our national leader, and she will be presenting more about the growth of Mexican Greens in the Congress, if you're interested. Now, starting with my presentation, it's a great honor for me to participate in this session organized by the Democracy Network, a huge work from Ville and from other members in the Democracy Network. And I'll be talking about the status of the Green parties in the upcoming elections in the Americas, not only upcoming, but all the elections that we've had or will have during 2026. Next slide, please. Yes. And first of all, it's important to review the most recent version of the Democracy Index. This is only for the Americas. And as you can see, the countries in the Americas spread all over the democracy spectrum from high to very low. And this index is updated every few years. So this is the most recent version from 2024. Next slide, please. Now, these are the federal elections happening in 2026. We have 6 countries. Some of the of the elections are both legislative and presidential, and some other countries only have presidential or legislative in 2026. The next one, please. Now let's start with Costa Rica. Costa Rica had both presidential and legislative election this year in February. The winner in both cases was the party named PPSO. This is a conservative party, and they won with huge advantage. You can see in the graphic that they will control more than half of the Congress. They only have one chamber in their Congress, and the new president also won for half of the votes. And about the Green Party of Costa Rica, they are not a member of the FPVA, the Federation of the Americas, and they didn't participate in this election because they are a small party. They are more focused in the local presence before going national. Next, please. Now there's Colombia. They had the legislative election in March, 8 March, and the winner was Partido Pacto Histórico, which is the same party as the incumbent president, Gustavo Petro. And now they will control 1/4 of both chambers in the National Congress. The Green Party of Colombia is the second largest of the FPVA. And after these elections, they will have 10 seats in the Senate in a coalition, and they will have 4 seats in the lower house without a coalition. That means the Green Party by itself. And about the presidential election that will be happening in May, the Green Party will support the front runner, who is from Pacto Histórico coalition, same as the president. Next slide, please. Now we have Peru. Peru, they just had the election this month, 5 days ago, and they are shifting now from a unicameral Congress to a bicameral Congress. Some of the members of the previous Congress are going to the new Senate, and that's good for continuity of the government. Remember that Peru just had 8 different presidents in the last 10 years. So they need a more stable Congress will promote also stability in the executive branch of government. And now for the presidential election, the front runner is Fuerza Popular, a right-wing party. But a second round will be celebrated soon in order to confirm these results. The Green Party candidate, that's Alex Gonzalez. You can see him in the picture in the slide. And he only got 0.5% of the voting, but they will be demanding for nullity of this election because they found several violations. So let's see what happens. The Green Party of Peru is a member of the FPVA, and they have won some local positions in the past, some local governments and municipality governments. But currently they don't have national presence. Next slide, please. Let's go to Brazil. The election will happen in October this year, and they will renovate both chambers of the National Congress and the presidency. It's a direct vote with the possibility of a second round if there is not a clear winner in the first round. And the Green Party of Brazil is a member of the FPVA. They currently have 6 seats in the lower house and none in the upper house. They also have some local governments. And for the next election, the Green Party is expecting to keep or increase the number of seats that they have in the Congress. For the presidential election, they will be supporting President Lula for his re-election. Next, please. And now we have Nicaragua. They were supposed to have an election in November this year, but due to a recent reform, the election was moved to 2027. Let's remember that the incumbent president, Daniel Ortega, won his fifth mandate in 2021, and he has been in the presidency for a long time. He's also expected to win next election next year for his sixth mandate. Let's see what happens. And the Green Party of Nicaragua is a former member of the FPBA. Currently, they don't have national presence. They are more focused in the local presence in Nicaragua. Now, let's go to the next one, please. The USA. They will have the election in November this year, and all of the lower house and 1/3 of the upper house will be renovated in this election. As you know, the USA has a bipartisan system, so it's very hard for other parties to get seats in the National Congress. Therefore, the Green Party US is focused on local positions. They have had some county governments in the past. I think there should be also some counties governed by the Green Party currently, and well, they still expect to grow more in the future. They are a former member of the FPBA. They are not in the FPBA anymore, but probably they will return in the future. And next one, please. And some conclusions. Based on this information, we conclude that the Greens in the Americas have few but valuable chances to grow in 2026 elections. It's not always about winning seats in the Congress. It's more important to build a solid base of supporters, voters, and people engaged with the party. And starting from there, they can win some local positions and national positions later. And the Green parties, this is a thought of mine, the Green parties are natural promoters of democracy because democracy is one of our core principles in the Global Greens Charter. And we are also Green parties also compete very often in bipartisan or totalitarian systems. So a win for the Greens is a win for democracy for sure. As Margaret Blakers said in the start of the sessions today, the Green parties shouldn't be destined to be small parties all the time, but we need to organize more. We need to believe more in green politics in order to grow. In this graphic that you can see on the slide, you can see a basic SWOT analysis applicable to all the green parties. This is just to have in mind for future elections. And that's all for me. Thank you, everyone. And if you have questions, some of the attendees are not able to, sorry, that's my cat, to participate directly in the commenting. So please use the chat box if you have any questions. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Raul. And I see in the chat some notes correcting our data. Thank you. I have written in my paper, especially we have been concentrating on lower house elections because that usually decides who are in the government and who are in the opposition, but we will add these senator positions like in Ireland and Frank, senator of Rwanda, of course. Thank you, Raul, from America's overview. And then we go to the other kind of our presentation, which we are having. We have been working on Democracy Network that we are developing ideas, and we are developing ideas for democracy in the Global Greens. And we have Jean-Paul Matthies, who you see already there, and after him Norbert Costa. They have the group of sovereignty, subsidiarity, and participatory democracy workshop. And Jean-Paul, please, I again search my system. There you are. And Norbert also in camera. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Ville, for the introduction. It's an honor to be here. Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Jean-Paul Matthies, and I am a member of the Swiss Greens. Today, Norbert Costa of the Canadian Greens and myself will group of the network. The subgroup is to enrich the Global Greens Charter. Next slide, please. The presentation is divided into 3 parts. The first one deals with what does S2PT aim for and why. The second is how does S2PD intend to achieve that. And 3, and most importantly, I should say, is an invitation to contribute to S2PD and thus enrich the Global Greens Charter. Next slide, please. Today we are celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Global Greens and also of the Global Greens Charter. It was approved by acclamation on 16 April 2001 after years of work. And you heard earlier today about a little bit what it was all about. Now, the Charter consists of 6 principles, 6 pillars on which global green policies are founded. Ecological wisdom, non-violence, social justice, sustainability, participatory democracy, and respect for diversity. It is understood from the Charter that green parties and political movements from around the world have committed to implement these interrelated principles and to create a global partnership in support of their fulfillment. Next slide, please. After the principles, there is a list of 10 political action items which detail quite a bit what Global Greens will undertake, things that they will demand, things that they will oppose, things that they will defend, and more in order to fulfill the principles. The list of those 10 political action items is on the slide. So if we work on enriching the Charter, enriching the principles, but more importantly, the political action items, we enrich what global green parties and movements around the world have committed to doing. What is important is that already back in 2001, Louise Crossley, who was the Charter coordinator, concluded the Congress then by saying, just as the Charter has its roots as far back as 1972, so it is still a work in progress. In future, it will evolve beyond the formulation that we give to it this weekend here in Canberra. Next slide, please. So our goal, S2PD's goal, is to do what Louise Crossley envisaged, to propose draft amendments to the Charter of the Global Greens to clarify, update, and enrich it so it better fits the current situation and the foreseeable future, yet fully preserving the spirit of the original and since then modified charter. When looking at what could be added to the charter, we have so far identified three things: sovereignty, subsidiarity, and comprehensive democracy as possible additions. One reason for that is that all three of these are now under attack. You know very well about what Donald Trump has said about Greenland. Subsidiarity is attacked by the autocrats, and democracy even more so. So we decided to examine those three possible additions first. Next slide, please. So we've covered what our aim is and why we aim at that. I will now give the floor to Norbert de Costa so he can take you through the next two items on the agenda. Norbert, it's up to you now.
Yes,
Thank you,
we
John
have
Paul.
15 minutes left.
Thank you, John Paul. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am Norbert de Costa of the Green Party of Canada. Jean Paul has presented what S2PD aims for and why. Again, I remind you that S2PD stands for our Sovereignty, Subsidiarity, and Participatory Democracy Workshop. I will now go over who we are as Global Greens and how S2PD plans to achieve our aim. Before I do that, I would suggest if you've got any questions, please put them in the Q&A or the chat. I believe that only panelists may have access to the chat. So if you can't use the chat, put your questions in the Q&A. Next slide, please. Every Green member of every Green Party anywhere in the world is a member of the Global Greens. Can you go one slide back? Yeah, thank you. Every member of every Green Party anywhere in the world is a member of the Global Greens. We are 100 plus Green Party strong, covering the Global North and Global South, from East to West. This is a huge asset. Greens are a global community, rich in diversity, ethnically, culturally, and linguistically, sharing the same 6 principles contained in the Global Greens Charter, principles that bind us all together. Our opportunity. Greens are uniquely placed to enhance the Charter of the Global Greens so it meets the political needs of today and the foreseeable future, and is also appealing, attracting others to join us Greens globally. Our challenge? How do we bring this diversity-rich global community of Greens living in different time zones and speaking in a multitude of languages to come together to work on enhancing the Charter? One of the principles of the Global Greens is respect for diversity. It is therefore incumbent upon us to invite all Greens from all time zones, no matter what languages they speak or do not speak, to join in this important endeavor. Next slide, please. Our challenge. Challenge number 1, connecting with and bringing Greens from all around the world to join S2PD and work on enhancing the Charter. We know that not all Greens are interested in policy or charter writing. We also know that there are Greens in most Green parties worldwide interested in policy and charter writing. How do we find them and reach out to them? S2PD has requested the 4 federations to appoint delegates to join S2PD and to be the link between S2PD and Greens within the federations. The letter bearing this request has been received by GGC, and we understand it will be conveyed to the 4 federations sometime soon after these anniversary celebrations. Next slide, please. Challenge number 2, getting Greens from around the world, living in different time zones and not speaking a common language, to come together to work on enhancing the Charter. To every extent possible, we will use available tools such as Zoom's multilingual captioning and transcriptions. But we expect most of the work will be done not in Zoom meetings, but by Greens collaborating in writing online. Next slide, please. To facilitate Greens from around the world collaborating in writing, each at their own convenient time and each in their own language, we have developed a web application where every participant reads and writes everything in their own language. No matter what language others use, they see it all in their own language, with translations occurring seamlessly under the hood. Here you see the screen as viewed by an English-speaking participant. It is all in English, although Kalina, the author, typed in Bulgarian. Next slide, please. On this screen, you see what Kalina and all other participants in Bulgarian will see. Everything is in Bulgarian. Next slide, please. On this screen, you see what a participant in Spanish would see. Everything is in Spanish, although nothing was entered in Spanish, and so on and so forth. Next slide, please. Here is what participants in Arabic would see. Participants in any of over 200 languages can join in enhancing the Charter. It's important that we get people from all around the world speaking all different languages, different cultures, to participate in building a Charter that is universally appealing and set a model for the future. Next slide, please. Here is how you can join S2PD and our work. If you are not already a member of the Strengthening Democracy Network, click on the link shown in bullet point 2. Sorry, next slide, please. Yes, if you're not already a member of S2PD, you can click on the link shown in bullet point 2 to register to become a member of SDN, the Strengthening Democracy Network. Once you've done that, you can click on bullet point 3 to enter the multilingual web app whose screenshots I just showed. Click on the login button and register as a first-time user. The registration form will show in the language you have set as a browser, so that should not be a handicap for you to register. Once you have registered, please wait for your registration to be approved. We do this to ensure that only Greens, i.e. we who share green principles and values, can join. Next slide, please. Thank you all for your interest. If you have any questions for Jean-Paul or me, I hope you put them in the Q&A or chat, and or put them in the Q&A and chat, and we will attempt to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, we have a few minutes for discussion. Please use webinar chat or merely the questions and Q&A.
There's a question on what is the difference of the ideas between participatory democracy and comprehensive democracy. And yes, I think, Jean-Paul, you'd be better placed to answer that particular question.
I can try, Norbert, indeed. Participative democracy is, in some parts of the world, only a addition to representative democracy. And so if the Charter mentions participative or participatory democracy, some people in some parts of the world understand that Greens support only the addition of participative democracy to representative democracy. This is not the original intent of the Charter, which is why we believe we should express the contents of participatory democracy in such a way that it is understood that we support the various types of democratic expression: representative democracy, direct democracy, and participative democracy. We would like all three to be present much more they are all over the world. We don't restrict ourselves to participative democracy. We want democracy in its various different variants, and also maybe not only in politics, but also in industrial relations. To express it in such a way that Green parties around the world can subscribe to the enlarged, the enriched definition of participatory democracy will require work, but that is exactly why we are here. We are here to work and express an enriched charter. Thank you.
Thank you. And then there is also deliberative democracy, meaning that more discussions should go on, not just voting yes or no. The vice chair of Finnish Greens, Allu Pyhälampi, is having a message here, not visible to everyone, but it would be great to someone brainstorm globally about what ways in which to campaign the best and the most effectively. Is it through physical campaigning, door-to-door, something else, or what? We have a big parliament elections coming up in year in the spring 27. It was valuable to hear how other countries have succeeded. Yes, actually we were planning to have a door-to-door ground level street campaigning speech today from Norway, Oslo 25 elections, where they succeeded very well. What more I should tell about this? I know that Seth Piper is here somewhere and could tell about something about Oslo.
We have a little bit of time. I can keep it really brief.
Yeah.
I've worked with the Norwegian Greens for about 10 years, and we have slowly been shifting towards doing more ground campaigning. So knocking on doors is now the most important activity, and that includes the candidates and the staff. And it's based on what they're doing in England and Wales, which has also been very successful. So yeah, that should be its own session at some point. I can tell you that the Global Greens is working on a publication which covers how the Green Party of England and Wales is campaigning on the ground. It'll come out at some point this year. So, but yes, I would get in touch with the Oslo Greens. I'm sure they'll be happy to tell you about the success. But we broke through in Parliament for the first time through ground campaigning.
Yes. It was...
Also, Ville, if I may add,
Yep.
Indeed, I think our Norwegian friends have a very interesting and motivating experience, which we could discuss in a coming meeting. I think indeed the question of how in practice do we Greens the results that we hope for, how do we effectively organize a campaign is a very important question. So maybe that is something we could tackle in one of the SDN discussions coming up, and we could come back to interested people, which is why I really encourage people to sign up for Strengthening Democracy Network and contributing and also sharing experience. Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay. somehow in our elections task force, we have been thinking that we should go what kind of campaign Green Party did, but we have not had the resources for that. Just following and sometimes taking other kind of inward kind of political environment and other elections fair and free and so on. We have last 2 minutes of our session and others will join this main room. So I will thank all the speakers, also thank about added information you gave us, dear writers in the chat. And thank you for speakers who were present and also who were prepared to speak today. Democracy Network is having a meeting every month, and every second meeting we are having some topic which we are discussing, some presentation like you heard today. You heard today many presentations, but then we have one presentation and more time to discuss and also really discuss. So go to Global Greens, tag networks and working groups, and then go to Democracy Network, and you will be in and invited in our next event. Thank you for this breakout room. It's a sunny spring day in Joensuu up north. All the snow has melted 2 weeks before it should have been. We think it's about climate change. Greens are needed everywhere in the world.